ClassicGameRoom.com.
Welcome to Classic Game Room. How do you make the puzzle game Columns even more wild and exciting? By putting 4 versions of it on one game. This is Columns Arcade Collection for the Sega Saturn. Did you know that Columns is an arcade game and that there's 4 versions of it? That's right. Columns, Columns 2, Columns 97, and Street Fighter vs. Columns, which isn't in this collection. Instead, you get stack columns. And I just thought of the absurdity of Street Fighter combined with a puzzle game. But, well, actually, I guess they did that, didn't they? With Puzzle Fighter. Sometimes I even outdumb myself. Especially when playing puzzle games. Because I'm terrible at them, I have no patience, and I can't light anything on fire. So Columns probably isn't the game for me. But if you love Columns, then this is a disc you'll want to check out, because you get a lot of columns. Starting with the first one, Columns, which I'm familiar with on the Sega Genesis. I had no idea this was on the Saturn, until we got the Columns Arcade Collection sent by Frank in San Leandro, California, the master of donating Sega Saturn games. Columns 97 is more than just a fancy mid-90s style painted on top of standard columns. It's also more challenging, which should be a treat for you as you get to enjoy the horror of me failing at columns even more. All of these games are pretty much the same. You want to line up the jewels or whatever in rows or diagonal columns of 3 or more, hopefully chaining them together to score big points and not losing. Columns is a natural multiplayer game. As you see, there's an entire side of the screen devoted to play a friend, which makes it more fun, provided your friend isn't any better than you are. I'm gonna go 2017 in honor of Earth Defense Force 2017. I believe that currently you are losing, in that you're winning. That you are.
I'm winning?
Well, if we're playing to see who's the worst at columns, I think
So I'm winning.
You're losing. Oh, now I'm losing.
Yes.
In addition to straight up Columns and Columns 97, we also get Columns 2, The Voyage Through Time, as you play columns throughout history, into the future, and back through the past. I'm trying to eliminate the one blinky thing in the future, and then I'm going to play columns in the past and try to change the future by adding flamethrowers into this game. I am crushing you without mercy.
I don't even understand.
I want to see. Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, is she naked?
I hope so. I kind of want to lose. If we all win,
This is like strip columns.
Demi Moore.
No, she's got clothes on. Strip columns was just too much to hope for. The real gem here is stack columns, where you play computer opponents and animals with personality in Vegas. Really? Yes. Your eyes aren't misleading you. I think he's voicing displeasure at my win, but I'm not entirely sure. In any event, who do we play next? A talking monkey. Yeah, if you like columns, this is the reason to get the Columns Arcade Collection. Stack columns. Talking monkeys, cyborgs, loan sharks, they're all here playing columns against you. And of course you can play this mode 2-player as well, but why would you when you can play a talking monkey? Who do we play next? Of course, Richard the Cyborg. So a big thanks once again to Frank from San Leandro for sending this to the show. If you, listening, enjoy columns and have a Sega Saturn, this is an import. I'm not sure, I doubt this was released in the West. But it's easy enough to play with the Action Replay card on a Western Saturn, and it does give you a lot of columns, including stack columns, which is by far the best of the bunch. After defeating Las Vegas, it's off to Macau, where I'm now competing against an evil dictator. Or maybe that's just George. He kind of looks crazy, though. I like the bow tie. It's a good look for him. After this lady whoops my ass, the game is over. But the review is not. Actually, yes, it is. I'm out of time. Columns Arcade Collection is recommended for those of you who love columns. And Stat Columns is definitely the highlight of the disc.